In a recent episode of the Dave Ramsey podcast, a man called in and asked if he should pay off his mortgage. Let's take a listen.
John's with us in Chicago. Hey, John, welcome to the Dave Ramsey Show.
Hey, thanks for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
Got a question. I have been able to save up quite a bit, a decent stash of savings, and the only debt I have is a mortgage. I've always been an avid investor, and I was lucky enough to get locked in at a low rate, about 3.25%. So just curious your thoughts, having a difficult time convincing myself to pay off my mortgage with such a low rate.
Well, this guy should have serious questions about whether he should be paying off his mortgage because it's only costing him 3.25%, and that's a tax-deductible 3.25%. So if he's in a 30% marginal tax bracket, it's really only costing him 2.275%. That's pretty cheap money in the big scheme of things. Let's keep listening.
How much do you owe on your mortgage?
About $180.
Okay. And how much is the non-retirement nest egg?
About $90.
Okay. And so you don't have enough to pay it off?
Correct. So I've been trying to decide, does it make sense to just throw that chunk at that?
Okay, I got you. Okay, even though it doesn't pay it off. Okay.
So he owes $180,000 on the house and has $90,000 sitting in savings, and he's wondering if he should throw that at the principal of the house so he can accelerate the pay down of the mortgage. So Dave begins by reviewing the various baby steps in his plan. I'll give you a much more succinct overview. 1, save $1,000 for starter emergency fund. 2, pay off all debt except for the mortgage. 3, save 3 to 6 months worth of emergency fund. 4, invest 15% of household income for retirement. 5, save for your children's education. And here Dave explains step number 6.
6 is pay off the house early. So above 15% going into retirement and above kids' college check, we would say throw everything at the house, which is the $90,000 that's in discussion here, unless you don't have an emergency fund. If you don't, we'd use some of the $90,000 for that and throw the rest at the mortgage. Why would I do that? Okay, and the reason is very simple. As we've studied millionaires over the last 25 years, and we just completed the largest study of millionaires ever done, over 10,000 of them, we find, to start with, that somewhere in the neighborhood, 79% inherited nothing, and somewhere in the neighborhood of 90% inherited not enough to make them millionaires. So 90% of millionaires, in other words, are not millionaires because of inherited money, but because of their habits and what they do with their money. And the two primary things we see that those habits that cause them to be successful, meaning hitting $1 million net worth and above, is the primary initial levels of wealth. The first million or 2 million is 401k and a paid-for house.
So step number 6 is to take any additional money above and beyond his emergency fund and 15% going towards savings and apply that to the house. Why? Because that's what other millionaires do. Now here's where Dave Ramsey runs into a 4-letter word with which he's had issues in the past, and it's math. Here's the issue at play. If this house really is only costing John 2.275%, then he must weigh that cost against what he could be earning were he to invest it in the stock market. And what could he be earning in the stock market according to Dave Ramsey's reckoning? Well, if you look at Dave Ramsey's prognostications that are all over his website, a long-term investor in the S&P 500 could expect anywhere from 10 to 12% over time. For our example's sake, let's call it 10%. In other words, here's what lies at the heart of Dave Ramsey's recommendation. Take money upon which you could be earning a tax-free 10% inside your Roth IRA or Roth 401k and pay off a debt that's only costing you a little over 2%. Folks, that's a negative arbitrage of about 8%. And while that doesn't seem like a big deal in the short term, if you amortize that 8% out over a 30-year mortgage, it's actually going to cost you a huge sum of money. Don't believe me? Let's take a look at the cold, hard math. Let's say you had a mortgage of $400,000, a monthly payment of $2,350 a month, and a 3.25% interest rate. Let's also say you inherited $400,000 from your rich Uncle Louie. You can either pay off your mortgage and then invest $23.50 per month for 30 years, or you can invest that $400,000 at 10% over 30 years and pay your house off over that time frame. Which strategy pushes you further ahead? Well, according to my math, you'd be $1,064,748 better off by investing the $400,000 at 10% over 30 years than by using it to prematurely pay off your mortgage. That's a staggering amount of money. So if Dave Ramsey's recommendation is not mathematically sound, why is he making it? Well, as a general purveyor of financial wisdom, Dave Ramsey has to fashion a one-size-fits-all, paint-by-the-numbers solution that can be easily implemented by a broad swath of his listeners, many of whom lack the discipline to make the moves that will ultimately make them the most money in the long run. Dave Ramsey would much rather you pay your house off and start investing the savings because while it's not the thing that makes the most mathematical sense, it fits neatly within his 7 steps and can be easily assimilated by a broad group of Americans. Which brings me to my larger point. Who are the people who should take Dave Ramsey's advice? Well, if you're floundering in debt and looking to turn your financial life around and make strides towards financial independence, then Dave Ramsey is your guy. However, if you're already on a stable financial trajectory, sort of like the guy in this Dave Ramsey video clip, then you probably have the discipline to implement the strategy that will most benefit you mathematically over the course of your life. In short, Dave Ramsey's strategies are good for some people, but sometimes good can be the enemy of best and can cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars in retirement. If you have financial discipline, have done a good job of saving, and have locked in an ultra low interest rate on your house, this is one piece of advice that's better off unheeded. If you want to learn more about how to shield your retirement savings from dramatically higher taxes, be sure to check out my tax-free toolkit. You can download it for free at taxfreetoolkit.com. If you're a financial professional and want to learn how to become a certified Power Zero advisor, head on over to powerzero.com and opt into my free 3-part video series. By the way, if you have any comments or questions, feel free to drop them into the comment section below. I respond to every single one of them personally. And don't forget to click like, subscribe, and the bell so you never miss a video. This is David McKnight. I look forward to seeing you on the next video.